ThePrint is here in Bhopal for a very unique, one of its kind festival, which is called the Green Hub Festival. What's interesting about this festival is that a lot of tribal and rural youth have gathered here, and they are showcasing their work, the films that they have made as part of the Green Hub Fellowship. Interestingly, many of these tribal and rural youth never held a camera in their life, and during the process of these 10 months they learned everything, all the skills, and now they are here and they are showcasing their work. Let us see what's going on in this festival.
महाबानु
17 tribal and rural youth from 4 states of India, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, gathered in Bhopal for a 2-day festival to showcase their work. These young men and women were the part of the Green Hub Central India Fellowship, which is a 10-month-long intense program which guides Adivasi youth and trains them in all aspects of filmmaking with the aim of empowering them and engaging with the issues concerning their communities. The occasion was the completion of the first edition of the Green Hub Fellowship Program organized by the civil society organizations working in areas of conservation like Dusty Foot Foundation and Mahashakti Seva Kendra in association with Bharat Rural Livelihood Foundation set up by the Ministry of Rural Development. The process of learning has been great, but it was never easy for any of them. Each of them have their own personal story about how they overcame difficult challenges.
मैं इसलिए कि मैं 10 महीने से मतलब यहाँ पे हूँ, फोटोग्राफी और ये फिल्म सारा कर रही हूँ, पर एक्चुअली मेरे घर वालों को अभी तक नहीं पता है इसीलिए। और मैं काफ़ी बार घर भी गई हूँ, पूछा भी है उन्होंने कि क्या काम है, क्या करती है, तो मैं ऐसे बात टाल देती हूँ क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि शायद मैं उनको बताऊँगी कैमरे के बारे में या जो मैं यहाँ पे कर रही हूँ उसके बारे में, तो वो शायद बोलेंगे क्या फालतू का काम कर रही है, टाइम वेस्ट कर रही है, ऐसा। तो इसीलिए नहीं पता है उनको।
मेरे परिवार मतलब अभी हम लोग गरीब हैं और मेरे पापा हैं, वो पैरालिसिस की बीमारी है, वो ना कुछ कर पाता है ना कुछ मतलब वो कुछ कर नहीं पाते हैं। और घर पे मेरे मतलब कि 5-6 परिवार हैं हम लोग, मैं 2 भाई हैं और 2 बहन हैं। तो भाई मतलब मैं बड़ा हूँ, भाई छोटा है। तो मम्मी लोग मतलब नहीं करते कि आप बाहर रहो, घर पे कौन करेगा ये चीज़ें, तो मुझे मतलब कि मना करते हैं, फिर भी मैं मम्मी को समझाता हूँ।
मैं मतलब मेरे पापा मज़दूर है, मतलब पोताई का काम करते हैं, मम्मी हाउस वाइफ है, मतलब ऐसे डेली काम नहीं मिलता है, मतलब रोज़ का कमा के खाने वाले मज़दूर है। और नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं।
जब मैं शुरुआत में गांव में रहता था तो मोबाइल से वीडियो शूट वगैरह या फ़ोटो शूट वगैरह करता था, बट जब मैं ग्रीन हब को ज्वाइन किया उसके बाद मैंने कैमराग्राफी सीखा, कैमराग्राफी के साथ फिर वीडियोग्राफी सीखा, फिर वीडियो एडिटिंग सीखा। मतलब जो फिल्म मेकिंग की जो सारी स्किल है वो ग्रीन हब के द्वारा हम सीखी। उसके बाद हमको लगा कि यार फिल्म मेकिंग बहुत अच्छा वो है, जरिया है जिसके ज़रिए हम दुनिया को बता सकते हैं कि हमारा कल्चर, हमारे सांस्कृतिक प्रोग्राम, नेचर के बारे में बता सकते हैं कि हम को नेचर को कैसे बचाना है, उसका कंजर्वेशन कैसे करना है, और उसके बाद अपने आदिवासी जो ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी है उसका जो कल्चर है उसको कैसे बताना है। क्योंकि आजकल ऐसा हो गया है कि पढ़ने वाला मतलब लिखित में तो बहुत कम लोग पढ़ते हैं, लेकिन वीडियो के माध्यम से देखा जाए तो बहुत सारे लोग इंटरेस्ट से उसको देखते हैं और समझते भी है।
Interestingly, many of them had not even held a camera before, but after learning from mentors, they not only learned the art of camera, but also made short films on social issues such as human-animal conflict, nature conservation, gender issues, wildlife conservation, and much more. The Green Hub Central India project was initiated in 2021 for rural and tribal youth to engage them with environment, biodiversity conservation, sustainable farming, nature-linked livelihoods and enterprise, indigenous knowledge, engagement with local governance processes, and other social change aspects through the use of the digital and visual medium.
One of the most important and I think beautiful things about this fellowship program is that they come together, they learn together, they make films together. So it's it's not just one person learning a skill, but it's an entire way of thinking and addressing an issue that they are encouraged to learn. And through the 10-month period, they are mentored by some of the best filmmakers in the country, which is also great because it prompts them to do better than what they would have otherwise done. So, 2-3 years ago, I met Rita and we started talking about the Green Hub Northeast, and I came up with this idea that why don't we have a similar program for Central India. And that is because the organization I work with, BRLF, Bharat Rural Livelihoods Foundation, was set up with the express focus to work in the Central Indian tribal belt on issues of tribal livelihoods and empowerment, to work with civil society and government together, on programs of livelihoods. We were set up by the Government of India with this mandate, and our initial focus of our work is the Central Indian Tribal Belt states, where we have been working for the last so many years now. One of the critical things we noticed is that, which is well known, is that while we talk about decentralization, Panchayati Raj, and so on, the capacity is needed at the grassroots to deliver. Government is spending lakhs and crores of rupees every year. It's well known, on rural development. But very often the outlays and the outcomes are not commensurate with each other. And the major gap in this regard is capacities at the grassroots.
Video, I find it as a very transformative tool, for social change. It's not only just the topics which you cover, but the process of video filmmaking is a big way to learn about conservation, social change, or anything which you're covering. It's a very interesting way because you self-learn a lot, You self-learn a lot because you have to be on location with the video, you have to speak to people, you have to cover the topics. Yeah, that's what Northeast, we've been there for 6 years. And we've had a very interesting journey where most of the fellows, 90% of them are still working with conservation or social change, either using the camera or working directly with the community. So it's given us a very good grounding to take this fellowship to other areas. So the first expansion of the Green Hub project is in Central India. And yes, we were very nervous because, every region is different. And so we were wondering whether the same method will work here. So, but we've got the first batch now. And we had almost 130 applications for the first batch. And it was because of COVID, it was less, but still. And we were just fascinated by the interviews. When we were doing the selection process, we found the youth to be so engaged with what was happening on the ground. Many more organizations, I think, working in Central India. During the whole fellowship, in terms of youth, you see the thinking and the way of being is very similar. They all want to do things. They all are looking at opportunities. And when they become together, they become like friends very soon. And then they find the support to work with each other.
For ThePrint, this is Unnati Sharma reporting from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh.